Let's start with Harry. Is he going bankrupt?
In excess of $20 million down the toilet, gone, spent on security, spent on the mortgage on that house because they didn't pay for it outright, spent on gardeners, cooks, chefs, flights, you name it. Where's Harry going to go? Straight back to his father with his begging bowl. So there's no future income, and what they've got is dwindling fast.
William and Kate are both pretty much done with Harry.
It's my understanding that she's furious about what happened after Harry's failed legal action against the British government to get armed security. So he gives this interview, and the Bieber were expecting 5 minutes. They got half an hour. They couldn't believe what was going on.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Expresso. I'm JJ Anisiobi, and this is Marky Mark Dolan. Hello, Mark.
Good to see you, JJ.
You too. I don't want to go on about this too much, but you might have noticed the award in the middle.
You are officially award-winning.
An award-winning podcast. Congratulations, as are you.
Well, listen, I tell you something. The Expresso, we get so many comments, and we've got so many loyal regular viewers. Yeah. Why? Because we go after the truth.
Yes.
Isn't it? That's what gets me up in the morning. And there's so much to go out today.
Absolutely. Let's start with Harry. Is he going bankrupt? So apparently his 20 million bucks inheritance from the late Princess Diana has all but gone since moving to the US. How is that even possible?
Well, this has comes with massive authority. Dan Wakeford is the former editor of People magazine and Us Weekly. Now, this guy, he's one of the big names of US journalism. And the reason why this is such a worrying headline for Harry is because Dan Wakeford is somebody that, if you look at People magazine, it is the in-house newsletter of the Sussexes. It is a propaganda arm of their public relations machine, which never sleeps. So to see the former editor of People magazine go after Harry and Meghan like this with the shocking revelation that the cash they inherited, Diana and also the Queen Mother, in excess of $20 million, down the toilet, gone, spent on security, spent on the mortgage on that house because they didn't pay for it outright, spent on gardeners, cooks, chefs, flights, you name it. This is a couple that live beyond their means. And the problem you've got is that when Harry and Meghan run out of money, which they will, where's Harry going to go? Straight back to his father with his begging bowl.
Well, do the math for me. 20 million from Spotify.
Yeah. That's been disputed, but that's the claimed figure.
Yeah. 60 million from Netflix.
Yeah.
And apparently they've made 10 million from this unofficial Australia visit. How have they gotten, how has he blown his inheritance when he's had so much money coming in? More money than I'm ever going to make in my lifetime.
Because I think that you need to look at those numbers, those quotes. You mentioned 60 million for Netflix. Others have said 100 million. How much of that did Harry and Meghan get? Was that partly a production fee? Because don't forget, 100 people worked on With Love Meghan, which is quite amazing that 100 people can be that bad at their job. And the same thing with the Spotify, which is it was quoted as 20 million, but of course they only fulfilled their obligations with one series of Archetypes, which was the most awful podcast ever. Didn't come back for more. So I don't think they'll have got the whole of the 20 mil from the Spotify deal, a fraction of that, 2 or 3 million if you're lucky. The same thing with Netflix. I reckon a lot of that was production rather than just pure in the back of their pocket. And then, of course, there's a suggestion now that Netflix deal, the great hope was this Polo documentary.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Which was going to become a drama and it was going to make them a fortune. Well, apparently that's been spiked. So there's no future income. And what they've got is dwindling fast. You know, they're in Hollywood, they're in Montecito, and they are neighbours of Oprah Winfrey and Gwyneth Paltrow, but they can't keep up. They're not in the same league. And actually trying to keep up with the Hollywood A-list is bankrupting them. Yeah.
But then why don't they just downsize? They could still get a really nice mansion in the Hollywood Hills. It would cost them a fraction of what they're paying for this Montecito Palace. And they could live in a gated community next to Justin Bieber. But I guess maybe that's not fancy enough for them.
Well, I think a keeper-upper in Skid Row is more likely. If they carry on at this rate. Of course, they're big sort of woke progressives, aren't they? So maybe they should go to San Francisco and live in a tent. Because they're so supportive of those incredibly successful policies in what was once a great city. I think that, yes, they could downsize, but Meghan won't be happy about that because she has a colossal ego. Don't forget, she detested Frogmore Cottage, which myself, and our viewers can only dream of living in.
Yeah.
What a beautiful place. But no. It was too small for Meghan. She needs the bragging rights of having a big property. She wants to pretend she's an A-list. Why? Well, because Meghan has always faked it till she made it. That's how she does it. So it would be so humbling. It would be so embarrassing. Meghan's big focus is the public perception of her. It's what people think of her. It's not what she does. Right? She's not successful at actually doing anything. She wasn't a great actress. She's a terrible entrepreneur. She was an awful princess. I'm not sure about her effectiveness as a mother, but the bottom line is that she just presents an image. It's a construct, and it all falls apart if she has to downsize and live in a smaller place in a rougher neighborhood. Can you imagine? It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Meghan, you know she's got this AI shopping deal, right? She wears clothes, people can buy them straight away, and they sell out. She did it on the Australian tour. But there's reports that this could potentially harm Harry. He's trying to get paid security back in the UK.
Yeah.
Armed security to escort him from, I don't know, the palace to the games or whatever. But the worry is that if Meghan comes with him and she's making money off her outfits, that the British taxpayer is going to say, why are we paying for your security and you're literally cashing in on these charity trips and things?
Well, this is what I would call the Prince paradox. It goes back to the in or out conversation with the late Queen Elizabeth, who was a genius of a woman, so smart. And she looked at that and she said, it ain't going to work. You're a private individual or you're a member of the royal family. And here we go again now with what the Sussexes want, the severe cakeism from which they suffer, the desire to have your cake and to eat it. And this time it's the armed royal security, which makes the trip an official royal trip, plus their commercial activities, which are at odds with being a member of the royal family, who are famously not commercial.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big problem. I think that it threatens Harry's hope of receiving this armed protection, because the authorities will have looked at that horrible fake tour to Australia, which was completely a publicity and cash raising exercise, nothing more than that. And they'll have been horrified by the footage of Harry and Meghan at a children's hospital posing for selfies with kids that have got cancer. Meanwhile, off they go to Bondi Beach, the location of one of the worst atrocities in the history of that great country. Again, hugging victims. Meanwhile, all of those clothes suddenly available online to purchase minutes later. Tear-stained blouses from Bondi. I mean, what a pair of ghouls. So the authorities are looking at this here in the UK, and they think, well, we'll have the equivalent of Bondi, the equivalent of the cancer patients in a children's hospital in the UK. And then Meghan will be flogging her wares. So this journalist, brilliant scoop from the Mirror, very right to point out the conflict of interest. And I think it's a big problem for Harry, because I think he won't get, if that happens, he won't get his armed security. By the way, why does he want that armed security? It's got nothing to do with his safety. He lives in California, which is not without crime.
Yeah.
He's been to Mexico, which is a beautiful country, but I'm afraid dominated by cartels, and there are kidnappings, all the rest of it. He's a regular in Ukraine, which is famously at war. So he's dodging Vladimir Putin's bombs, but apparently he's not safe in Mayfair. Make it make sense. London is one of the safest cities in the world. The reason why he wants it, it's the court of King Harry. It's a flex. It's his posse, like a rapper with the kind of 50 hangers-on that go everywhere with him. That's what it's about. It's a flex. He wants the cop cars. He wants the helicopters. He wants the whistle, the motorbike outriders. And so I think it's a big problem. It's really under threat. He will never square this circle, JJ, of wanting to be a proper member of the royal family and to make money. It's an impossible situation.
Yeah, it is. Poor Harry.
What do you think? I mean, do you think that they should be allowed to come to the UK with armed cops and make money as well?
No, I don't think. I'm not privy to all the security detail and the reports, but I think they'll be okay coming to this country with normal security, not with armed. If it's such a great risk that there's likely to be an attack on them, the police would inform their security team and say, "This is the information we've got. Better you don't come this way. We're going to take you back this route," or whatever it is. But whether it's The Rock, there's plenty of celebrities who have stalkers who are much more famous than Harry and Meghan, and they come to the UK and they have normal security, and they do just fine. I don't think they need to have the police.
Most definitely. And why is it that they don't need armed cops everywhere else in the world except London?
Yeah.
This is political.
Yeah.
And it's ego, it's reputational, and it's Harry's desire to be the big man. You see, this is why I think sometimes we're quite hard on Meghan, and I think rightly so, because I think she's got narcissistic tendencies. I think Harry's life has gone completely downhill since they married. But Harry does like to present himself as this caring, reasonable, sort of balanced guy. No, I think he's a wild narcissist. I think Harry is a raging narcissist. And I think in some ways, Meghan soaks up all of the sort of negative headlines, around that Sussex brand.
Yeah, I think she does that.
Yeah, and actually, in fact, Harry is culpable. Maybe he's worse than Meghan, because Meghan is the devil you know. It's like my wonderful dentist who calls Donald Trump the honest liar.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think in some ways you could say that Meghan is the honest narcissist. It's like it's out there. It's hiding in plain sight. Harry's the one that pretends to be really nice. Harry is not a nice person in my view.
Why do you think?
Because I think that he's got a big ego which he hides. And I think he's got narcissistic qualities. You know, this awful, deranged interview with ITV News in which he said, oh, yeah, well, I'm still like totally member of the royal family, man. And these trips, you know, they're really important to me because I'm so totally royal, actually. And I think that it's ego, it's drive, it's ambition, it's narcissism. He's very indulgent. What do I think? I think he's a nasty character. To write that book about Spare, 600 pages attacking his family, allowing Meghan to make an unfounded claim of racism against an unnamed member of the royal family, all on Harry's watch, allowing Meghan to mock Queen Elizabeth II, right? Harry has presided over all of this. Meghan mocking the Queen could have been taken out of that Netflix show if Harry had insisted. Yeah. He didn't have to write the book Spare. If he had written the book Spare, he could have written something innocuous about how nice it was growing up in palaces. He did not. So in many ways, to me, Harry is the villain of the piece. I think there will always be Meghan Markles, you see. Harry could have married some rather thick aristocratic girl with rosy cheeks and kind eyes and wide hips. And I think that's what he should have done. Some lovely lady baking cakes all day and jolly hockey sticks, as we say.
Yeah.
But he chose Meghan. But the truth is, there will always be Meghans. Yeah, there are a million Meghans out there. We have we not in our own lives? We've maybe got friends that were Meghans.
Yeah.
Maybe ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
And these are the sort of people that are always around. William has resisted such a person, and Harry did not. So he walked into this with his eyes open.
Well, look, if you are enjoying our award-winning podcast, like, share, subscribe, hit the hype button, and comment. I do generally sneak in there sometimes and reply to many of you. Mark, let's stick with William. You just mentioned William. He resisted.
What a rock star he is.
Well, listen, William and Kate are both pretty much done with Harry and Meghan.
Oh, it's over.
That's what the reports are saying, at least. We'll start with Kate. So apparently her limit was when Harry did the interview with the BBC last year.
Yeah.
And he said that he doesn't know how much longer he's got with his father or how much longer his father has. Apparently that was the tipping point for Kate, and she wasn't angry. She was just disappointed. Proper parenting language, that is.
Most definitely. Catherine is a very elegant person. She's one of the most beautiful people on the planet. She's extremely intelligent. She's a natural princess. She's discreet. She's also loyal. And it's my understanding that she's furious about what happened after Harry's failed legal action against the British government to get armed security. He runs off to the BBC for that interview, which, just like the ITV interview, was completely deranged and unhinged. I think he's losing the plot, by the way. Yeah, I don't think that he has a full grip on reality. And, well, he's living in a parallel Meghan Markle universe, which is a very different place to be, full of lavender towels and flower sprinkles. My husband. So he does that interview with the BBC. I was told, by the way, but I've got people close to the corporation who said they were expecting a 5-minute soundbite. Harry sits down for half an hour, ranting and raving about an establishment stitch-up, which is the paranoid talk of a man that's had too many mind-altering substances over the years. I was like bait for a decade, man. Of course, we will be clear, for legal reasons, it was just a 1-year isolated window of drug use. It's just 1 year. Yeah. That's a big thing. Drug users, it's just 1 year, isn't it? It never goes beyond. the 12 calendar months. Of course not. Ever since then, it's just been yogurts and couscous.
Yeah, healthy.
So his body's a temple. Yeah, baked for a decade, yeah. But anyway, so he gives this interview, this Unhinged interview, and the Bieber expecting 5 minutes. They got half an hour. They couldn't believe what was going on. And in it, as you say, he's like, he said several things, but one of the things he said is, my father could make this happen immediately, which is a lie. Harry is a liar. That's another reason. Put it on the list of why he's not a nice person. That is famously not true, that the king cannot click his fingers. Why? Because that would be a political decision.
Or maybe he's just thick. Maybe he's not a liar. Maybe he's just stupid.
Which is worse?
Fair.
So the bottom line is that Catherine's reportedly seen this interview. Of course she has. And she's really upset when Harry said, I don't know how long my father's got. Now, that is very telling. Can you imagine referring to your dying relative in those terms? Imagine if it's your Auntie Jean. I don't know how long Auntie Jean's got. You wouldn't say that, would you? You would say, my Auntie Jean is seriously unwell and I'm praying for her recovery and I'm really worried about, how long we will have her prognosis. You wouldn't say, I don't know how long she's got, man. She'll borrow time, yeah. And I think that I think Catherine was horrified by this. So she's very loyal. Don't forget that she and Charles have both been through this cancer journey.
Yes.
And it's my understanding that Charles is incredibly fond of his daughter-in-law. And obviously, by contrast to Meghan, it heightens her, it elevates her further, doesn't it? And because Charles will look at Meghan's behaviour as his other daughter-in-law, and he'll be thinking, well, between those two girls, look at Catherine. She's an absolute angel. So she's loyal to Charles. They've been on a cancer journey together. She didn't like the flippant way that Harry referred to the king's health, or even brought that in question. And at that time, don't forget, it wasn't clear that Charles' cancer was inoperable. We didn't have the full details because, as you know, the royals don't give a lot of details about their health. We knew that he was battling cancer and being treated for it. Well, Harry has pushed it further and basically said to the world, well, I think he's dying. So Catherine hated all that. She's furious and she won't be happy. And of course, there's a lot of history with the Sussexes and the Waleses. Yeah. It's been alleged that Meghan reduced Catherine to tears over the wedding dress. So the whole thing's a hot mess. I mean, there's no love lost between those two women.
Well, let's move on to William now. So William, as you can imagine, in no hurry to reconcile with Harry. But you say that Harry's lost the plot. I think William sounds a bit unhinged here. So what we're being told
How
is
dare you?
William.
I thought we were friends.
William allegedly felt undermined by the Sussexes' recent moves and the Australian tour, and he thinks that someone is leaking information. Someone in William's team is leaking information to Harry and Meghan, and Harry and Meghan are using this to stay close to King Charles. Now, that to me sounds extremely paranoid. The exact thing was, the report said Harry and Meghan were described to journalists as running the Montecito branch of the House of Windsor, and William no longer trusted the majority of the palace staff.
Well, the problem you've got is the Sussex PR machine is ruthless, it's unforgiving, and it never sleeps. And it's all led by Meghan, who's very smart and very strategic. She has a clear goal, which is to get back into the royal family, get back to the UK. She may come this summer, and she'll certainly come next summer for Invictus.
Yeah.
And it's not just palace employees who are on the side of Harry and Meghan. You've got leading politicians in this country who are pushing for the Sussexes to return to the UK in some capacity. This is an establishment agenda. And the bottom line is that, if you look at Richard Eden, who's the diary editor of the Daily Mail, this is his exclusive about the establishment plot to get Harry and Meghan back into the UK. The problem you got, Charles is such an invertebrate. He's got no backbone whatsoever. So he's yielding to pressure to be nice to Harry and Meghan, hence the Clarence face-to-face summit last September. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if there are people within palace circles who are rooting for the Sussexes. They've got their spies, they've got their plants. I don't know why they're being disloyal to William and Catherine if they work for them. But it's very true because lots of things are popping up in the press about Charles has had enough of William's negativity towards Harry. Where does that come from?
Yeah.
And because, that's the other thing we're hearing. Don't forget, from the book Spare, Charles was quoted by Harry as saying to the boys, to his two sons, can you please stop making the rest of my life a misery? So, I think that William is concerned about that. The problem you got is that the royal family, it is political, and there will always be moles. You will never keep everything completely secret because, unfortunately, given the nature of their lives, they have bodyguards, they have staff. Nothing is ever completely secret.
Yeah. Do you think, because Harry's coming to launch Invictus Games, he's coming this summer to do that?
Oh yeah,
but it's the actual games happening next year. Do you think any of the royals, and I don't mean Eugenie and those loser ones, I mean the proper not the small fry ones,
the rubbish royals,
yeah, we don't want those, I mean the proper ones, will any of them go? Even if they go behind the scenes and they don't get pictured, but they're seen arriving, and it's like they can have a little 2-minute summit and then they can disappear again. Any chance?
It's at the moment, no. And we'll have to see how the relationship pans out between the palace and the Sussexes. But at the moment, it's my understanding that the palace are absolutely sick and tired of Harry and Meghan. It's my understanding that the palace found Harry's interview with ITV in Ukraine telling America to, have war with Russia. They thought it was weird. They thought it was a strange interview. He was dressed, by the way, as a burglar. I don't know if you actually remember that interview. Or a bum. The Americans would call him a bum, like a homeless man. He was wearing a beanie. He looked like a criminal. But, I think that's telling. So the palace have had enough. William's had enough. Will that happen? I think it's too soon to say, but unlikely, because at the moment, we heard, it was reported that Harry thinks that they're all going to turn up and that Charles will open the event. Good luck with that. Because don't forget, Invictus has become quite toxic as a brand in its own right. Not because of the really excellent servicemen and women who participate, and not because of the staff who work hard, and fair play to the corporate donors and the people that pay money into Invictus. But there are quite a lot of concerns about the cost of Invictus. It's been reported this week that per participant, it's $100,000 just to put the games on.
Wow.
Now, as an excellent journalist was pointing out online, which I reported on the Mark Dolan show on YouTube, $100,000, that could go on wheelchairs, on physiotherapy, on adapting your apartment so that you can live there comfortably.
Yeah.
Instead, this event, it's over $100,000 per participant, and that's a concern. So I think I'm not sure that Invictus is going to be the sort of unalloyed positive brand that it once was.
Marky Mark, thank you very much.
Great to see you, JJ. Congratulations on being award winning.
Congratulations to you, sir. You're part of the team.
It is me, and we know it's me, but I'm being polite. Let's be nice about it. Well done, JJ. It's definitely you.
And thank you for watching or listening. If you're on Spotify, give us a like, give us a rating. And if you're on YouTube, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the hype button. Bye-bye for now.